Today on our show,
Spider-Man webs up big bucks this weekend.
ooh, there's a Wonder Woman sequel news.
That and so much more on today's Fatman on Batman, or Wider Men on Spider-Man.
Ah, thank you, Internet.
Yeah, Internet gave us that one. Welcome to Fatman on Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Okay, Spider-Man did all right this weekend. Fuck.
Yeah,
This movie made all the monies.
it made a little bit of cash.
It's I believe the second biggest Spider-Man movie of all time. What would be the first you say to yourself? Oh, got to be that first Spider-Man movie, or probably Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is the best of the Raimi series. You'd be wrong.
Is it the Andrew Garfield picture?
You'd be wrong there.
I would be.
That leaves one choice left. Dancing Jazzy Spider-Man was the biggest opening of all time.
Emo man.
Hey! When you're a web till the end. That's my
That's not bad.
auditioning for the
Rainbows fall. It was the Raindrop song. That was
Raindrops
it. Fall.
I use that in Clerks too.
It's popular.
Wait, was that in 3 or 2?
That's in 3.
Yeah?
That's the, like, when Spider-Man gives up his shit and decides he's going to be a regular human dude, he's super fucking happy. And
That was 3? I thought that was 2.
I thought it was 3. Or is it 2?
Tell us, Internet.
Yes, tell us how I'm wrong.
I think it's 2.
Could be 2.
I do. I don't think there's any moment in 3 that makes you go, yeah.
Oh.
It was 3 felt like a dare. 3 was like,
Could you make one of these movies? I double dog dare you.
let's see if we can make it in such a way that people who like the first 2 are mad at us about the third. This is good. It's got some cool moments. As you can hear, it's a circus of canine activity.
The
here
menagerie
today.
is afoot.
Yeah, because they know that we're talking about Spider-Man. Hey! We're talking about fucking Spider-Man! Pooey! Shaggy! Here's the big... Shaggy! Here's the big news. Spider-Man...
Made some money?
How much was it?
Let me check my Instaphone. $257 million worldwide.
Oh, shit. What's the domestic figure? I live in America, fucking Mark. So I'm only looking for American numbers. America first. MAGA.
$140 million domestic.
Fuck. That, now, over 5 days?
Yes.
That's like because we had a holiday weekend? Still, fucking huge.
Shit ton of money.
For the 6th Spider-Man movie?
Yes, for the 2nd, 4th, 5th reboot of Spider-Man.
6th Spider-Man movie, 3rd iteration, 2nd time we've seen him within 2 years because he was in Civil War. So based on all that movie math, this movie should have made a couple bucks and that's it. Should have done what they're calling Valerian money. That's coming soon. Which is to say good, but not fucking 140 million.
Rubbing more than 2 francs together, but still.
Exactly. So this making as much as it did proves what we've known all along. Kevin Feige should be given every superhero thing ever. He just wants the Marvel universe, but if I'm fucking Warner Brothers, I'd be like, please do both. Like, we'll co-finance those movies. Let's combine these universes. Let us play with you.
Please, I just need to play with your toys.
You guys know how to do it. Sony should be doing cartwheels, and they are. Tom Rothman now in charge over there and whatnot. Amy Pascal, who was like weathering the storm when
broke.
The email hack happened, and Kim Jong-un was like, I'm gonna take on America because I don't like Seth Rogen movies. What a wacky time that was.
Could you imagine if there's a world in which, let's say 15 years from now, 20 years from now, Warner Brothers and Marvel and Disney sit down and be like, you know what? Contest of the Champions. Can we cross these 2 universes together?
Yeah.
Can we? Should we? We must.
Marvel versus DC.
Yes.
DC versus Marvel. The historic series that everyone was just like, eh. And gave birth to the amalgam universe for a moment.
Thank goodness.
For a moment.
For a moment.
Yeah, I could see it.
Why not?
Come on, dude. Here. Not in our lifetime, or maybe here. Like, we've watched technology jump in such leaps and bounds over the course of the last 30 years alone that one has to, anyone with a brain or logic has to cop to the fact that aliens have landed and we stole all their shit. Or we've just gotten so much better at this technology shit. So what happens now? I just said to Marc before the show began, I said, man, I was getting ready to be like, when's the next superhero movie? And we literally just had one. One of the biggest. We're talking about it right now.
A week ago.
But we have no sense of satiety for these films. And the audience, I feel, is only getting larger. Some people, they write so many bubble articles, like, this is a superhero movie on a bubble. Is it a bubble about to burst? Obviously not. 6th fucking Spider-Man movie, 3rd iteration of the character, 2nd time you could see him in 2 years, and people are still like, take all my fucking money, because they're doing it right. What does this have to do with comic book movies? If you do comic book movie right, they fucking show the fuck up.
It's like Field of Dreams, but with webs in it.
If you build it, they will shoot webs over it. And into your fucking face with bills, fat wads of cash, throwing money at Sony. And because Disney doesn't own a piece of this.
No,
I reread this weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's just the creative. Kevin Feige was just like, skin in the game. Here's my skin, son. Talent. I don't need money. I bring the talent. And he put that talent to work and rewrote or helped develop and stuff like that. So Sony's got all the money in the game. But, you know, what they trade off is like Spider-Man is in Avengers and stuff.
That's the lucrative part of all of this.
That's the sweetest plum. Plus, just having Spider-Man be able to play with like all the other characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But in any event, everybody deserves a big pat on the back, man. It's most of all, of course, the director, John Watts, and the many screenwriters. There were like 96.
Yeah.
But
15 of them.
It's commercial for a good movie.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? If it takes fucking 15 writers to make something that enjoyable, take it. Take all my money. Hire 30 writers for all I give.
Everybody gets paid.
There's one voice it smells like over there. And the modern day Stan Lee of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is definitely Kevin Feige. Like, I like this guy. If they put posters up of like movie producers, I'd be tempted to not only get that poster. Like, I remember when Quentin did when Pulp Fiction happened and it was fucking huge. You could buy in Spencer's a poster of Quentin Tarantino, and it said, and he was wearing an open shirt, if I remember correctly. And he was like this, and it said, "It's showtime." Quentin Tarantino, and it was literally just like, fucking, we salute his entire catalog of work, which was 2 movies at that point, but like, people loved him so much, he warranted his own poster. Now that we know there's precedent, if they put out, and I'm not doing this to get a job, I don't want to make no Marvel movie, I just want to watch them. Although I would be in one. I'm just saying.
FYI.
But if they made a Kevin Feige, please. If they made a Kevin Feige poster, I would be tempted to not only buy it, but get it framed.
What if they did it as like an IMAX giveaway? Like if you go to the IMAX and, hey, Kevin Feige staring over you from your bedroom. Hey, Kevin Feige.
What, like a big poster?
Yeah.
Oh, like a bus stop ad?
Fuck yeah.
Let's not go nuts.
Hang him on the ceiling, just
Something
looking up at
classy,
him.
That's tacky.
Something classy like the Quentin It's Showtime poster that size. That's what I could do.
Nothing says classy. It's a director with a naval shirt saying Showtime.
Telling you, look it up. I bet you can still buy it on eBay. In fact, when we're done with this, I'm going to go buy one because I wished I'd bought one in the 90s. And, like, it's just worth having. He lives up the hill. So I could go over and be like, sign this, please. I bet you'd be happy to do it. Speaking of Quentin, we'll dump back into Spider-Man. But while we're talking about Quentin, somebody just dropped fucking news today, man. Like, there's been something in the air. Some people in Los Angeles have been like, oh, Quentin this, Quentin that. I think he's getting ready to do something.
Quentin's rumbling. Quentin's out and about.
Quentin's back. He was away, and now he's home because he's getting ready, ... And it broke, I don't know who broke the news, but, you know, this being the age of the internet, you don't have to credit anybody anymore, but somebody broke the fucking news, man. Let it be broke. Quentin Tarantino working on a brand new movie about, wait for it, no, not the Old West.
No.
About old Los Angeles, about the Manson murders.
Indeed. Killing of Sharon Tate and Benedict Canyon. That's
brilliant. Now, who does that? What do you got? 500-600 nurses? He's going crazy with the list. I felt like fucking Ed Harris for a minute there. That's thinking, because I was sitting there going, that's thinking. That is thinking, though. Everyone loves that story for some reason. It's creepy and fucking horrible. The death of Sharon Tate at the fucking knives and her unborn child.
Yeah, she was 9 months pregnant.
At the knives of the fucking Manson cult.
Because it has all of those things. It has everything. It has fame. It has murder. It has Hollywood.
I know, but like, I'm all for it. I'm glad. This is perfect marriage. Before we go anywhere, this is a perfect marriage of material and artists. Like, it's one of those things where we just talked about before the show, and you step back from it, you're like, how the fuck didn't he tackle this sooner? This is like made for Quentin. But why is this story? Like, there have been so many other brutal murders. Like, if you're into murders and shit, which I personally am not. But why is this story like so compelling that people like keep tabs on it? They do. Remember, like the David Duchovny show, Aquarius was about that. Like every true crime show does there, and then periodically they interview fucking Manson himself. What is it? I think that's
part of it. I think part of it is that he's still alive. You know, that like this specter of that horror has never actually faded away, and that it was all about, like as we also talked about before we started rolling, that Manson's alleged master plan was to foment a race war in Los Angeles by killing a blonde lady and blaming it on black guys, I guess.
Wasn't a very well thought out.
No, I mean, mastermind maybe of
involved murder. Kids, if any plan involves the taking of another life, even if it's baby Hitler in a time machine, you're probably doing it wrong. Take no lives. Unless well, shit, how do you handle it in war? You know, if they're shooting at you, whatever. Let's not get into that.
Yeah, morality is not our strong suit.
This ain't Hacksaw Ridge, and I ain't Andrew Garfield, and this damn sure ain't Mel Gibson, so we're not going to argue that.
No.
Although he does feel the same way about many races. Get Marc drunk. Forget it. Hey, sugar tits, he says to me. I'm like, hey. I wouldn't call him sugary.
I said none of this.
I call him stevia nips. Is it stevia or stevia?
I don't know. It's not Stevie.
Anyway, stevia nape. Any event, Quentin Tarantino is working on a new movie. This is reason to rejoice. The fact that it's a movie about the Manson family.
Yes.
You got my money. You have my money anyway, but you definitely got my money. Rumor is he's gone out to an old associate, Brad Pitt, who he worked with in Inglourious Bastards. Take my money. Imagine if he plays Manson.
Shut up.
Imagine if Brad.
Don't have to shut up.
Imagine if Brad. I can't even say it. That's thinking. Now who? Who's got the list? He's got 500-600 nurses. I hear he's going wild. Yeah, did he? I hear he's going cold. No, I hear a lot of things. I hear he's doing well. I hear he's doing very well. It's Glenn Ross. Not the big Alec Baldwin scene that everybody
knows always be closing.
This is the lesser Ed Harris, Helen Arkin in the car scene. Boots, shoes, yes. Fuck you people.
Deep cuts.
Very deep cuts. Thank you. Brad Pitt playing fucking Charles Manson.
And the rumor is that he's also, Quentin, met with Margot Robbie to play Sharon Tate. I mean, go on the internet, do a little search, and you'll see that she looks exactly like...
When I hear something like that, and I like my life, don't get me wrong.
It's a good life.
Mark, I like my house. I like everything about Kevin Smith.
It's a wonderful life.
When I hear shit like that, I'm like, I'm doing it wrong. Somehow I'm doing it wrong. All of that just sounds like smart people, creative people, mega billions giants getting together to build worlds and universes, and I'm like, I wonder what we can get for Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I wonder who won't say no. Wow, Margot Robbie, that's a great call.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
As Sharon Tate?
As Sharon Tate.
Take my money. I heard, since this is the Batman rumor show, I read somewhere, I read that Jennifer Lawrence, I read that they heard, whoever they are, that Jennifer Lawrence, he might have went out to her with something, but they were quick
Look at
to
all
stress
these rumors.
Not
haunting me every day.
Sharon Tate. So that means who? Squeaky Fromme?
Ooh, could be.
Who knows, man. But whatever it is, I'm on board for that. Fucking Quentin Tarantino is inarguably one of the 5 greatest living American filmmakers. And I don't want to insult anybody, but like, aren't I allowed to have an opinion?
Totally.
It's my favorite. There. Fucking jump on. Dude. Come at me, bro.
I will also argue.
Hold my beer, Marc Bernardin.
I got this.
I do. I love him to death. I swear to God. And, I say that as a guy who is, it's not like I'm on board with every single thing. Some things I like more than others, but he's balls on film, and I don't think that necessarily is what you need to be or something like that. I don't know. He's just so good at it. He's an American master.
I will also say I am firmly of the belief that he is the most powerful filmmaker in Hollywood. Because yes, Steven Spielberg can
Hold
get
on,
anything.
give him a fucking single.
I'll take a single for this. Give me that fucking single. No, like there are filmmakers who can get things made. Like Michael Bay can, if you want to make a Transformers movie, Michael Bay will do that. If you want to make a Spielberg movie that feels and looks like a Spielberg movie, he'll get money for that. Nobody in the world wanted to give Quentin Tarantino $60 million to make Django Unchained. Nobody wants to make. Nobody wakes up in the morning who runs a studio and says, you know what I want to make? A slave revolt vengeance picture. Where like, I wanted Will Smith, couldn't get Will Smith, so I'll get fucking, yes, Jamie Foxx can whip white dudes for like an hour and a half. And somehow not only get people to spend that money, but get $100 million worth of people to come see it.
More than that.
I mean, it made more than 12 Years a Slave. The Good Slave movie, directed by a black dude, did not make as much as the Revenge Fantasia, directed by a white dude who thinks he's a black dude.
Strong words from our correspondent, Marc Bernardin.
We'll be sending him back into the field shortly.
Well, you know what? To be fair, I just sucked his dick for like 3 minutes, and what you said was positive too.
Not saying anything bad about it.
That's
I like
true.
Django quite a bit. I don't dislike any Quentin Tarantino movie.
Your thesis though is that who else can fucking do that?
Who else
Name
can pull
another
that shit
filmmaker?
off?
You're right.
Like
absolutely.
Spielberg cannot walk into any studio and say, you know what, I want to make a slave movie about the slave, because he made a slave movie about the lawyer who defends the slave. FYI.
I'm a stud. This ain't no I'm a stud. It's the line I stole from Zach and Mary. Okay.
Yeah.
We love Quentin here.
Quentin.
Fucking there it is.
Cannot wait.
Get ready for that shit. But anyway, back to Spider-Man. It made all the monies.
All the monies.
And congrats to all involved and stuff like that. I'm sure they're getting ready for fucking 2 as we speak.
They got to be. If they're not, well, I mean, there was
a website called Movie Pilot, picked up our theory. That's the weirdness about, like, on the last episode, we were theorizing. I said, I wonder if Peter Parker could become the new Tony Stark if Tony Stark dies in Avengers, the next Avengers movie. And it was a whimsy. And somebody at Movie Pilot wrote it as an article, and they were like, let's break it down. Like, not saying this is going to happen, but they were like, he's very clear that he's just spitballing, but they're like, you know, it could, and based on, thank you for validating my fantasies. I want Movie Pilot to validate all my fantasies.
Well,
I'm like some involved Jay Muse.
Get it done. Speaking of things we said that made it into the internet.
New category.
New category. We had waxed philosophic about what the Wonder Woman sequel could be, or where it could take place, or who could be in it, and we were kind of fond of the idea that what if it was in the Cold War? What if it was it was U.S. versus Russia? What if it was pre-Glasnost? What if it was all about the Berlin Wall dropping? What if it was all about that stuff and paranoia and shifting alliances? And Steve Trevor could maybe come back as Martian Manhunter. We talked about such things. News broke today.
Pooey, shut the fuck up. You don't even realize what a brilliant segue that was. I didn't even know where it was going. And when it got to Wonder Woman, I was like, fuck, that was deft. Get off his fucking dick, dogs.
Hop on the segue with me. Let's see. According to Screen Rant, which first reported this.
Gotta be true. If it's in Screen Rant, you know it's true.
Yes.
From Kevin Smith.
And The Wrap has confirmed.
The Wrap?
They're for real.
If it's in The Wrap, it ain't crap. That's Kevin Smith's seal of approval.
That Wonder Woman 2 would be a period piece with Princess Diana facing off against the Soviet Union during the 1980s.
The 80s?
Yeah, which is a little bit later than I would have thought, but it's still the end of the Cold War.
Interesting. Yes. And they've also mentioned that Steve Trevor's coming back, or Chris Pine's coming back.
Chris Pine, they do have Warner Brothers has an option on Chris Pine to bring him back for a sequel. And again, why wouldn't you?
Look, I like him as the Martian Manhunter. And if they don't do it, I'm not going to say I'm going to be disappointed, but it's going to be a bit disappointing if they don't do it, because that's fucking a solid idea. But they could also just do it if she's fighting Russians, which might be fucking timely. They could just do it like she gets gassed or drugged, and then so she sees Steve there. Like, you know, he's got to come back and play, but not
hallucinations.
like I survived. They're not going to play that card.
No, I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that shit. That would fucking cheapen what he did, the sacrifice he made in Wonder Woman.
But Jeff
People are like, that's what you remember about Wonder Woman? I'm like, yes, a man gave his life
for the lady.
For the ladies. No, that was just one death. I remember when that was happening in the movie. My wife, who was a hardcore feminist, as soon as like he's taken off into the sky, she's like, oh. And I was like, calm down. He doesn't save the day. She's the hero. He has to have an arc.
His arc just goes off into the sky. And
yeah. But she was getting like, you know, not only should Wonder Woman defeat Ares, she should get in the plane, fly the plane that explodes, and then fly back to town.
In her invisible plane.
I was like, you got to share some of the story for the characters.
Like he said, he can save the day. She's going to save the world.
Totally.
Which is fine. So
he better not come back as him. The other thing they could do would be kind of shitty. Would you find out that Steve Trevor had a wife back home who was pregnant with a young Steve Trevor.
Oh.
So then that young Steve Trevor, who was born 1940, by the time he gets to 1980 and this picture takes place, he's the son of Steve Trevor, all Steve Trevor Jr.
Keep fucking them Trevor boys, Wonder Woman.
I didn't say that would happen. You know, maybe she'd have some sanctity being like, well, I knew your father. I knew him real well, one night. But that's a way you could do it. I still prefer the Martian Manhunter method above all. As a hardcore DC fan, that would be amazing. I mean, they got my money anyway, but I'd steal his money and give you his money if you did what he said to do.
I would get
because
a
then
third job.
He'd also get money because we'd be like, he said it first.
Money!
But then they'd be like, we own the comics and he said it based on it. And then they'd be like, no money.
But money.
I'd give him a tissue and cry about his money that he had and lost.
Where's the money? I was told there would be money.
And that's why you never share your creative ideas with anybody.
On the internet.
All right, man. I hope that's fucking all true.
I hope so, too.
He said with deadly seriousness.
I hope so, too.
That sounds good, though. I mean, like, honestly, like, I'm such a dipshit. I was like, oh, I'm sure they'll go to World War II. And I'm like, fuck it, dude. It's been done. I mean, what is she, if she can't kill Hitler, what's the point of sending her there? And Quentin already did it up the hill, so fuck it.
Yeah, blah.
They're going to send her to the 80s and fight the Cold War and shit. Reagan.
And shoulder pads. And leg warmers.
Yeah, Dennis Miller.
I mean, that's the problem with the 80s, is that fashion was shit. Like, do the 60s, where everybody looked great.
I mean, what's been like? Maybe what they're doing, maybe it's conscious. Maybe they're conscious. Maybe they're like, look, we consciously went to World War I because what the fuck? Nobody's done World War I that much, and we got to do something cool with her in World War I. So if they are leaning toward the Cold War era, what would be the cool thing that we're missing? That they're like, oh, fucking, maybe she stops the Cuban Missile Crisis.
That's the 60s, and the X-Men did that already.
Oh, God damn it, you're right.
But I mean,
you're also right about being in the 60s as well. Did they say it was definitely the 80s?
They said during the 80s, which again, this is all tangential and rumor and circumspect and all of that shit.
I predict an opening montage sequence set to My Sharona. No. I look forward to it. Patty Jenkins probably doing it, right?
We didn't start the fire.
Yeah. Oh, shit, yeah.
Wonder Woman, blah, blah.
Okay. Look, if Patty Jenkins can't do it, you have two willing men here who can not only direct the picture, but do the theme song, as you just heard.
With our mouths.
Yeah, you don't have to pay that fat Billy Joel money.
No, fuck that.
Our version's a lot cheaper.
But yeah, Jeff Johns and Patty Jenkins are apparently developing the script. Patty Jenkins is still in talks to return. She has yet to sign on the dotted line.
She'll come back.
They will pay her that woman.
I saw footage of her making that movie. They keep releasing more and more footage. Because she's become something of a name and a celebrity, not just for a wonderful movie, but also because the movie broke records and shit. So now you're starting to see more footage of her, like they put on Instagram and stuff. And the movie continues to make loot and whatnot. But those two look like they were having a good time. I mean, you know, it's like when you got those behind the scenes packages, they never show people being like, why did I do this? Obviously.
Horrible decision.
Yeah, they're marketing. But still, like, she looked like she was legit having a good time, you know, behind the camera with Gal Gadot and stuff.
And Wonder Woman has officially outgrown Suicide Squad.
Holy fuck.
Speaking of which.
Yeah.
Hop back on the segue.
You don't even get the fucking, how magic these segues are. Take us home.
Suicide Squad 2, which is set to start filming in mid-2018 without director David Ayer.
David Ayer's not coming back?
David Ayer's not coming back.
I heard David Ayer's directing something, though. Something big on Netflix.
Bright.
Yeah, he directed that.
Yeah, with Max Landis wrote,
script.
Will Smith starring.
Huge movie.
Yeah, for Netflix. Like this big fantasy.
Netflix's biggest effort single. But it's a movie or series?
It's a movie. It's something, they're being very cagey about what it is, but it's like, what if we live in a world of orcs and wizards and magic and shit, but there are also cops? And so what if Will Smith was an orc cop?
So,
yeah.
So it's well, whatever. I'm sure they know what they're doing.
We'll
but it sounds a little like what was that movie? Like Ripped.
Oh yeah, R.I.P.D.
R.I.P.D.
Rest in Peace Department or whatever.
Maybe not. Maybe you know what? I'm reducing it. You know what? I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. That kid's talented. I think Max is a very talented kid, and he writes like a motherfucker. Just dude goes to sleep, and while he's sleeping, his brain's writing a script and stuff.
I got another one.
He's prolific, to say the least. But that's huge. That movie's huge. So David Ayer went over to direct that. So
and he will probably
don't cry for me, Argentina. He's doing quite well.
He will probably be a producer on this because everybody sticks around as a producer in some fashion.
Maybe he chose to not do the second one.
Totally, and he could. I think he's still involved in some way with Gotham City Sirens, which I don't know what's happening there. But the person who is hopefully Warner Brothers wants to take over is a guy whose name I'm about to butcher. Jaume Collet-Serra.
It's pronounced Kevin Smith, Marc.
Who directed the shark thriller The Shallows.
That wasn't me.
Has emerged as the frontrunner.
The fucking movie with Blake Lively?
Yeah.
That's a Warner Brothers movie, too, I think.
Blake Lively and a shark.
They all keep it in the family. That movie, that was kind of dope, that flick. The trailer was.
Yeah, I mean, he's the frontrunner now to helm Suicide Squad 2.
The egg showing.
Warner's initially circled, this is trade speak, like circling is a thing you do in the real
Suddenly
world.
I'm back in the conversation because it's Hollywood speak, and I am in Hollywood.
Waters initially circled Mel Gibson to helm the project, but script delays pushed the production start, and Gibson moved on.
Hicks and Sticks love the flicks.
Sources say the studio recently received a new treatment written by Zach Penn from Avengers, Ready Player One, The Matrix reboot/sequel/prequel, and then a new script will now be written.
Wait, Zach Penn is doing the Matrix reboot sequel?
Mm-hmm. And he wrote the first draft of Avengers and just came off of Ready Player One.
He did the Hulk too.
He did the Hulk too?
movie that I liked. What's his name?
Ed Norton.
Yeah. And The Abomination. Mm-hmm. I met him in a movie theater. He seemed like a nice guy.
He was he created Alphas, the first television show he was ever staffed on. Yeah.
So
very
met
sweet
him.
guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah, very sweet guy.
So
love
he's
this
doing
shit. Loves that shit like we love this shit.
I met him at a Battlestar Galactica Paley Center panel that was at, I think, the ArcLight at the Dome. So you got to be a fucking nerd to be there in the business. And there, we were, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm him," and I'm like, "Hey man, I'm him." You seem like a nice guy. Wait, so he's writing?
He wrote a new treatment, may or may not write a new script for Suicide Squad 2.
But he also wrote Ready Player One.
He did.
That Spielberg's directed.
Yeah.
The Ernest Cline book,
which is going to get a big la-di-da in San Diego this year.
Is it really?
Yeah.
La-di-da.
We likes to party.
Is Spielberg coming down?
Yeah.
I will be at San Diego. Are you going to be at San Diego?
I will too be in San Diego.
Tell him why.
Because we're doing a live Fatman on Batman.
That's right. There's only a couple tickets left. Go to csmod.com. You can see me and Marc at the American Comedy Club doing Fatman on Batman live Saturday night.
Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. Be there or be someplace else that is way less cool.
And then we're going to the Fundy Fest. Where's that?
St. John, New Brunswick.
Canada. We're on our way, man.
Oh, Canada.
Tickets at csmod.com. You can see me and Marc doing Fatman on Batman live in the Great White North.
Indeed. And if you want to see us anyplace else, you talk to the people who run that shit and have them give us a call.
Give us a shout. Find us on Twitter.
We'll come.
Tweet us.
We don't care.
We want to talk for your money.
Yes.
There it is. We're putting it on Front Street.
We want your money, people of Earth. We have come for your women.
This one's free. First taste is free.
Yeah.
When we come to town, we want your money. All right. Is that all the news we got?
That's all the news we got, my friend.
Mel Gibson? He's not.
No, he's nowhere near it.
That's not happening?
I mean, Warner Brothers, Hollywood wants to make Mel Gibson happen again. He got an Oscar nomination.
They want to make him happen again.
They want to make him happen. He got an Oscar nomination for Hacksaw Ridge, which was the official Welcome Back to Hollywood Mel Gibson. We have forgiven you for sugar tits and assorted awful things you've said in the past. Warner Brothers was like, why don't you come back and do this movie? And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. But the fact that he got the call is a big deal.
Interesting. All the news that's fit to print on the internet. That's what we give you here on Fat Man on Batman. That's Fat Man on Batman for this week. For Fat Man on Batman, I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Marc Bernardin.
Come back next time. Same fat channel, smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.